class today. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Please make sure that you check us out on our social media channels, to include our YouTube channel as well as our Instagram page. When taking this class, as well as any other fitness class, or changing your exercise regimen, please be sure that you are consulting with your physician and make sure it's a good fit for your body. As we've been talking about stretching, let this be a reminder to you that stretching should not have you incur or feel any stinging, tingling, or burning, nor should you have any swelling of the joints. Or surrounding the muscle, swelling of the joints surrounding the muscle that you are stretching. If you encounter any of these adverse reactions to stretching, please consult your physician. Let them know, okay, as soon as possible. You want to stop the stretch that you've done that you think may have led to you having that reaction, and again, consult your physician. When taking this class, please be sure that you are wearing loose, comfortable fitting clothing that you can move around well in. Also, please make sure that you're wearing good fitted tennis shoes for the class. If you need to go by a shoe store to get fitted for a pair of shoes, it's going to be one of the most beneficial buys that you ever make. So we're going to start off with our warm-up, and I know that you may see a bunch of things on my floor right now. We'll talk about that after our warm-up. Also, make sure that you have some water nearby so that when we take little pauses to transition into our next phase, that you can get a sip of water to continue to hydrate your body as we work through the different things we're going to work through today. All right, so let's start off with either your walk or your jog. Okay, we're going to do all regressive exercises for the first round, regressive and progressive, half and half for the second round, and then once our body is good and warm, we're going to do progressive, and then we're going to do a little bit of mobile stretching, okay? You'll see a little bit of that coming at the end of the 3 rounds today as well. So stick with me, all right? I am going to introduce a couple of new warm-up exercises that we're going to do as well. So before we do them, I'll show it to you, then we'll do it together or practice together, and then we'll incorporate them into our warm-up. Here we go. So let's start off with our jogging or walking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be for 1 minute. So this is your jogging or your walking. I'm choosing to walk for this first part. But maybe for my second round, I'll decide to jog for half and to run in place for half, okay? So remember, you can walk back and forth in your little area, or you can feel the need to just jog in place. Arms are by your side if you're walking, a little swing, okay? Breathing as we warm up, knowing that we have about 30 more seconds to go before we transition into our low impact or our regressive march. So remember, whenever I say regression, that means something that's low impact, not too much wear and tear on the body. And then when we go to progressive, that's a little bit more high impact. That's the stuff that's going to build you up. Changing to marches in 3, 2, 1. So low impact march or regressive march. So a little lift with our feet off the floor. My arms are at my sides. My arms are about a 45-degree angle, bent at the elbow. 15 seconds down, 45 seconds to go. We're going a whole minute. Inhale, exhale. Okay. And now that we have been consistently doing the same warm-up, feel free to do this warm-up before you go out on your longer walks, jogs, or runs, or before you do any other of your activities of daily living exercises that's helping you to build on your fitness regimen and build up your fitness lifestyle. So we have about 10 more seconds to go, and we're going to start kicking forward in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's kick it forward. Low kicks forward. And I've just turned to the side so you can see how my kicks look. Starting in a nice neutral, good posture position. My arms are at my sides, just letting them hang out. Okay? And I'm just kicking forward. And then after this kick forward, we're going to kick out to the side, warming up our hip flexors, our inner thigh muscles, our outer thigh muscles. Okay? Doing that in about the next 30 seconds and counting. Don't forget to breathe. Don't hold your breath, okay? Don't hold your breath. Good. Got about 15 seconds to go. Then we're going to go to our lateral kicks. That means our kicks out to the side. Good. In 3, 2, 1. So kick out to the side. Kick and kick and kick. Okay? Lifting with the hip muscles, hip flexors, and extending that kick out to the side with our knees. Keep going. You're going to feel your hip flexors start to talk to you right away. Okay? Mild discomfort, but it should not feel like anything too strenuous or cumbersome. It's just our warm-up, our regressive warm-up. Good. Have a little bit more than 20 seconds to go. And counting. Almost there. 15 seconds. Good. Then we're going to do our arm circles in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your feet steady. Arms out to the side. Circle forward. Shoulder height. Palms open, fingers outstretched, not wobbling. We have a good solid base. Feet are underneath our hips, but no wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to change directions in about 10 seconds. Good. Just breathe. 3, 2, 1. Now circle backwards. So just like we're warming up our limbs, we want to warm up our lungs as well. All right? Our heart is pumping, therefore our lungs are also passing a lot more blood than they would if we were sitting still. All right, 5 more seconds here, then we're going to hinge. 3, 2, 1. Bring your arms up, palms facing, and hinging at the hips. Inhale and exhale. Good. Hold it there. Remember, at first, you may not be able to go all the way down to the ground because your muscles are not warm yet. But as we progress through the rounds of warm-up, you'll find that your muscles will get looser and looser and you can get far closer and closer to the ground. And we're going to hold this stretch, okay, for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it up. Good. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add to our warm-up, and we're going to do a regressive butt kick. So that is heel to the glute. So you're bending at the knee, and you're bringing your heel to your glute. Okay? So remember the other day we talked about some static stretches that you do standing in place. And what we do is we hold that stretch for at least 15 seconds until we feel the muscle relax. Well, now we're going to incorporate more of our mobile stretches. So these quad kicks, or butt kicks as I like to call them, would be a regressive form of our mobile stretches. So we're flexing at the knee, therefore warming up the knee, kicking the glute, okay, or getting our heel as close to the glute as possible, stretching or lengthening the muscles throughout the back of our legs, starting from our glutes to our hamstrings to our calves, as well as the muscles in the front of our legs. And we're going to keep doing this for another 10 seconds, and then we're going to place our hands on our hips, and we're going to do a high lunge. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Hands on your hips. And what we're going to do is make sure we're going to start with our legs underneath our hips. And we're going to step forward in a front lunge. So just step, do a little bend in the knee, push off the front leg, come back. Step forward, little bend in the knee, push back. Okay? So not only are we warming up, but we're also doing a mobile stretch here. Okay? To get us ready for our workout, as well as working on our balance. Okay? Pull your belly button in. That will also help you to step back. Don't lean back when you step back. Stay nice and upright. Okay? Remember, the regressive version of this is a short step out, a little bend in the knee. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Now we're going to go back to our walk, jog, or run. 30 seconds regressive, 30 seconds progressive, okay? Whatever you'd like to do in regards to those 3, choose from those 3 to start with, okay? 1 minute. And we're going to start in 10 seconds. So decide what you're going to do. Stick with it for 30 seconds. Stick with the progressive for 30 seconds. Going in 3, 2, and 1. So for me, my regressive is going to be my jog. Good. And for my progressive, it's going to be my run. For you, your regressive could be the walk, and your progressive could be your jog. Get ready to switch to that progressive exercise in 4, 3, 2, 1 for 30 seconds. Breathe and move those arms. You have 10 seconds. Then we're going to go to our marches. 4, 3, 2, 1. Low impact march. Good. Gives you a chance to lower your heart rate. Okay? And to just take some breaths. Now remember, at the 30-second mark, I'll call it, and then we're going to do our higher march, which is in half the time, okay? This is double time. Half time is when we lift it up to a 90-degree angle or as high as our hips, waist height. 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. It's only 30 seconds. Good. And again, you don't have to hold your arms out here for your knees to tap. But it could be something that you grow to. 3, 2, 1. Low kicks in front. Good. Then we're going to have our higher kicks to the front. Then we're going to do our low kicks or regressive kicks out to the sides. And then we're going to do our progressive kicks also out to the sides for 30 seconds. 3. So we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick to the front. And remember, as long as it's higher than your regressive kick, that's all you need. That can be your progression. 15 seconds to go. You can do it. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Low kicks out to the side. Good. So these are double time. When we get to that 30-second mark, I'll call it. And then half time lateral kicks out to the side. Breathe. 10 seconds. Get ready to lift those legs up. Doesn't have to be waist height, just higher than this. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Kicks, kicks, out to the side. 20 seconds to go. You can do it. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arm circles. Very good. Forward for 30 seconds and back for 30 seconds. That's right. Let's breathe. Relax those shoulders. Don't hunch. Just because you're tense or you find it difficult to breathe right now, just take your time and just breathe. Switching in 3, 2, 1. Circle backwards. Very good. 15 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Arms come up. And let's hinge. Breathe in and out. Get a little bit lower when you exhale. Again. Let's roll on up. Arms above the head. And let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, lower a little bit more. Should be getting closer and closer to that floor or a little bit further down from the waist. Meaning that you should be touching a lower point on your legs, even if it's not the floor. And let's come on up. All right. So for that butt kick, we're going to start here with the regressive. In 3, 2, 1. So heel to glute. Then for the progressive portion of it, it's going to go a little bit faster. So there's going to be a little hop in between. So a quick demo, stay right where you are with just kicking your glute there. What your progressive version should look like, it should look like this. For 30 seconds, okay? Now, if you're not comfortable, stay here with the regressive. But we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, progressive. Come on, stay with it. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on your hips for lunges. And a little deeper in it today, or for this round. Here we go. Inhale, step out, and step. 1 minute. Now, if you have knee issues and coming down farther is painful for you, stay in this high lunge. But just make sure you get a little bit of a bend in those knees, okay? Less than 30 seconds to go. All right? And we're staying here with this one form of lunge because we got deeper for this second round. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we're going to take it from the top. All progressives. All progressions. All right? When you get to the lunge portion, because it is new to our warm-up regimen, remember, if you need to stick with this higher lunge for the entire minute, that is just fine. All right? All right. So 1 minute of each thing. All progressions. If you need to take a break, do so. You may either take it by doing a regression or take it by simply stopping, taking a couple deep breaths, and then coming back. All right, we're going to get ready to go in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. For me, it's my run. For you, it may be your jog, or it could even be a faster walk. Good, keep with it. Don't leave me. Little less than 15 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, marches. Come on, lift them up, lift them up, lift them up. Waist tight. Looking forward. You got it. Then we're going to do kicks forward next. Don't lean back to lift your knees up. Keep that spine nice and tall. 20 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick forward. Breathe. Good. Pull that belly button in. You got it. 30 seconds to go. You do not have to turn as I am turning. You can stay in one place and kick forward. Just showing you my posture from all sides. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out to the side. You can do it. Remember, you can stay low as long as it's higher than your regression. 30 seconds. Then arm circles. Come on, 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arm circles. Forward and breathe. And then we're going to switch to backward in 10 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should be arms circling backwards. Taking your breaths. Then we're going to switch back to forward in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward. And switching to backward, in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, circle backwards. Good. Finishing it up in 10 seconds. Good. Now mobile stretching. 3, 2, 1. Arms up. And let's hinge. Should feel really good to the legs from all those marches and kicks. Breathe. Come on up. And let's do it again. Arms up and hinge. And come on up. And let's do one more. And come on up. All right, let's get ready for that quad kick, okay? So remember, if you feel most comfortable here, walking it out, do that. But we're shooting for the progressive. All right, here we go for 1 minute. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get the glute, get the glute. Keep going. Almost there. Remember, you can go here to here. Okay? All right. Keep going. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Lunges forward. And step out. Ninety-degree angle, and both knees is the goal. But it is not the requirement. Remember, you have this option, the regressed option. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. So, grab some water. Take a couple of deep breaths. And let your heart rate come down just a touch. So we just did a very combined warm-up. We did some things that we learned before, regressions and progressions in 3 rounds as we've done before. We also did some static stretches as well as some mobile stretches, okay? So what I want to go over today is I want to go over how to stretch with equipment. Now, keep in mind, you don't need equipment to have a very effective stretch, okay? Equipment is just a tool that can help you grow in your stretching, but you don't have to have it. So I just want to go over some things in the event that you have these things at home and you can use them. I am going to mention what I guess the industry standard is in the sense of the piece of equipment, but know that it is not the only option out there. And sometimes some of the tools you have at home can be replicated or duplicated rather to mimic some of the tools we use in the industry. Okay, so let's start off with our mat. If we wanted to stretch on the floor, we would use a yoga mat, okay? If you do not have a yoga mat to do stretches on the floor, do know that you could use a beach towel and old shower curtain. Just your plain old rug at home. Anything that will feel comfortable under your hands and feet that will not cause you to be a hazard to you. So something where your hands will not slip and your feet won't slip is a good option, okay? You can use a yoga mat to do dynamic stretches, whether you're on your back or on your belly, many of which we'll go over. Or you can use them to do standing stretches, okay? You can use them to do yoga stretches as well, all right? So that's your yoga mat. All right, another thing I want to talk about are called foam rollers, all right? This foam roller is squishy and it's very smooth on the outside, whereas this one is not squishy. It's very firm and it has these different knots and ridges in it. Okay. Now, again, with this one, it's very smooth. There's nothing on the outside. When you get ready to use a foam roller, okay, if you don't happen to have one, an alternative would be sometimes if you can go to your hardware store, a piece of PVC pipe. All right. You may want to reinforce it with some duct tape to be sure that it doesn't crack as easily underneath your leg when you get ready to use it or underneath your body. That's an option. So again, industry standards, notice that this one is a little bit shorter, whereas this one is taller. Some of them can be even taller than this one. Some of them you can get the knots on the bigger one or the taller one as opposed to the shorter one. And sometimes you can even get them half the height of this knotted or ridged foam roller, okay? A great option to help you work out knots in your legs, as well as your arms, but mainly in your legs and your glutes. If you're a runner or if you're becoming a runner, great tools to have at home, okay? Again, just an option. All right, so these are some different types of balls that you can use to help with little knots that come up. So this one has spikes on it. This one is smooth, but it's quite weighty. And this one is also smooth, but it's quite light and a little less firm. So these are different balls that you can use to also roll around with underneath your feet. So if you find that you have really tired feet, this is a great ball to use underneath your tired feet. Roll it back and forth, and it helps to work out the kinks and the knots in your feet. This one can be used to work out knots that are too small to get with the foam roller, but not necessarily big enough for a foam roller by itself. So you can put this wherever you believe the knot is and hold it on top of that knot, and this will help release it. And the same thing with this less firm, more of a spongy type of ball. It just doesn't have quite the firmness of this one, so it may be more comfortable to you, okay? If you don't have these balls that, again, are fitness, industry standard, then tennis balls work just fine. So an option would be to go to any store, get yourself a can of tennis balls and one of your old socks. And what you can do is you can use a tennis ball by itself, or you can double them up, triple them up, put them in an old sock, okay? And you want to put a knot in the end of the sock, and then you're ready to use these two tennis balls in this old sock, the same way you would use one of those industry standard balls, okay? We now have our yoga block. Know that you can use a yoga block to do just as much anything you would normally use or do with any type of resistance band, which we'll go over next. And this is a great option if you're attempting to do a stretch, for example, our straddle stretch, and you find that you're just not touching the ground, but you want to measure that you're making progress. So you can put your block down in front of you, do your straddle stretch the way you normally would, and let's just say you typically stop here when you do it without your yoga block. Well, maybe you decide you want to use a yoga block, but you want to stand it up first, and your goal is to touch the yoga block so you can get a deeper stretch in the back of your legs. And then as you progress, you decide you want to lay your yoga block down and you want to touch your yoga block. That's your attempt, okay, with either your fingertips or your palms. And then as you continue to grow, you'll find, oh, I can do it without the yoga block, and just put both hands on the floor. So again, it's meant to help you be a gauger when you're stretching. Okay? Then we have our different types of bands. Okay, I'm going to go over several types of bands. So these are yoga bands. Okay? They can be looped through. Okay? Looped through to form a bigger loop. Should you want to do some type of straddle stretch and place your legs within opposite sides of the loop, okay? We also have varying types of resistance bands. So we have these which are continuous loop, okay? We have these which have handles and of varying colors. Typically, these are called resistance bands, and these can be used to help you stretch as well as work out. And do know that the different colors mean different amounts of resistance. So for me, my red band, okay, is my stretchiest band. It has the least resistance. And my blue and my green bands are going to have more resistance, but my green band is going to have the most resistance. So the colors mean different levels of resistance depending on the maker of the band. Do recognize that these bands come with loops where you can place your feet or your hands for your stretches, okay, or for your workout. And we have another type of band we call these thermobands. Again, they come in varying colors to represent the amount of resistance. For me, my orange band is the stretchiest. Meanwhile, my black band is the least of the stretchiest, and my gray is right in the middle, okay? Again, another option if you want to help stretch different parts of your body. In particular with these bands, they could be stretched with your hands, with your arms rather, held in your hands, and you can pull across, and this can not only be a stretch, but also a form of a workout for your arms. With these bands as well, you can tie a knot in them and use them the same way you would use this closed loop resistance band that I showed you earlier, okay? You can use it in the same way. So if you did not have access to these industry standard pieces of equipment and you didn't want to go out and buy it, again, with these belts or bands, you can always use an old belt. Yes, literally a belt that you put around your waist to hold your pants up, or even a piece of rope, okay, like an old jump rope works just as well. Maybe you have some left over from your childhood days, or you have a family member, a young family member who left one at your house. You can use those to help you stretch, okay? Know that they're not as stretchy as these resistance bands or thermobands, but they could be just as helpful to get you, at least start you on your path, okay? So we talked about different pieces of equipment that you can use for stretching. So now let's do some of our standing stretches, and I'm also going to show you a couple of stretches that we can do with these pieces of equipment, okay? So for my bands, I'm going to show you one example that you can do with a band, and this example you can mimic with any of the other bands I showed you, okay? You want to place your feet inside your band, standing firmly on the band, okay? And a stretch that you can do is with the resistance of the band, you can attempt to raise the band as far above varying parts of your body. So if your band has great resistance, the limit of you stretching that band may be just to your belly button, okay? And you can hold there for 15 seconds, all right? And you may be wondering, well, what am I stretching here or strengthening here? Well, you're strengthening your arm muscles, okay, because they're the ones doing the pulling. You are lengthening the muscles in your legs because they have to resist the temptation to lift up when you pull on this band with your hands. Another option would be to, before doing this, make sure you put a little bend in your knees to get the band higher up, and you would pull the band up to maybe chest height. Again, remember, this is like a giant rubber band, so be very careful and make sure you examine your band before you use it so that if there are any tears in it, it doesn't accidentally pop in your face while you're using it. And then if you wanted to stretch a little bit more and your band would allow you to, then you can make an attempt to straighten out your arms. Now this band is very tight and one of the strong resistance bands, so be mindful, okay? And you can stretch all the way up and hold it there. And then you'll feel a stretch in your abs and your upper back as well as your arms. And what I'm doing is I'm just gripping the band with my hands. And when I came up, I made sure I gave a little bend in my knees before I lengthened myself all the way out. And what you're doing is you're doing a stretch from head to toe with this band. Arms up, okay, and holding it for 15 seconds. And then coming on down and releasing the band, okay? So, again, an exercise you can do with the bands. Now, I'm going to go on to, I showed you what you could do with your yoga block. Let's talk about foam rolling. So, with your foam roller, you want to follow the instructions that come with your foam roller. They typically do come with instructions. And when you get them, you want to practice because this is going to take some coordination and some balance. But again, a foam roller is really good if you plan on doing a lot of running or if you plan on doing a lot of dynamic exercises that's going to use the power in your legs. So, with the foam roller, I recommend you start off with sitting on the foam roller and you start with a smooth foam roller. I have the knotted one here because it works better for my space because it's shorter. But start with the smooth one first. And the first thing you want to do with your foam roller is sit on it. Okay? Place your hands on the floor. And this is just one exercise you can do. And recline back. Make sure you have good balance while you're sitting on it. And then what you want to do, like with any of these tools, especially the ball portions of them, is find the knot. So you want to roll it back and forth. Okay? If you find a spot that's particularly sensitive to you, you want to hold it on that spot. Yes, it may cause some mild discomfort, but holding it on that spot allows you to loosen that particular knot so that you can continue to get good blood flow through that area and lengthen that particular muscle. Then after you've completed that area, for example, if I wanted to stretch out the muscles in my legs or by rolling them out with a foam roller, then again, according to your guide with your foam roller, you'd want to follow that guide. But create the balance, placing your hands on the floor, roll the foam roller back and forth between joint and joint. Okay, so my knee and my hip is where I would start. And then you want to hold it wherever you feel mild discomfort. Then you would switch sides and do it for the same amount on the other side. One leg is going to be bent. If I'm doing this for the back of my leg where my hamstrings are, rolling it back and forth when I feel a spot that could use a little bit more attention. Okay, then I'm going to hold it there. Once it feels like it is loosened, then I continue to roll. Okay? So think of yourself as like a ball of dough and you're kneading yourself out. Alright? So those are foam rollers. Very useful, very helpful. Again, another option, if you are not able to afford one of these, a piece of PVC pipe that you may even have left over in your house from a project, you could use that as well, okay? All right, mat, one of the easiest and simplest pieces of equipment to acquire, but also you may already have an alternative in your home, like a beach towel, where you can do various types of stretches, whether you are on your tummy, okay, and you decide that you want to do a quad stretch just like we did standing up today. So you want to grab your laces on the inside, okay, while laying on your tummy, and you'll feel a nice stretch through the front of your leg, all right? And then you can switch sides. Remembering to hold each stretch for at least 15 seconds. Breathing through it, and then releasing, okay? Other options would be to stretch your chest muscles, hands on the outside of your chest. Palm is flat, fingers spread wide, and then lengthen your arms and stretch out the front of your chest, as well as your abdominals and the front of your hips, okay? After 15 seconds, you lower down, and you can feel the need. You may feel the need to repeat, and you can, okay? Good options. If you wanted to roll over onto your back for a stretch, some quick and easy options are to simply stretch the back of your legs by bringing one leg up. Never grab behind the knee when you're stretching your leg. Always grab at the calf or at the hamstring. Never grab behind the knee. And just breathe. And when you feel that muscle relax, bring that knee closer to the chest. And you can even point your toes here for an additional stretch, or rotate your ankle forward and backward. Then you want to switch your legs out and do the same exact regimen. Okay, remember to balance the body out. Pull the knee close once you relax that muscle for the first time, first 15 seconds. Pull the toes close, rotate the ankles backward and forward. The ankle backwards and forward. Okay? And remember, these static stretches where you're not moving a whole lot or jumping around and just trying to get the blood really flowing throughout your body should be done at the end of your workout. Okay? So after you've done your workout and you've had a really good sweat, or you've just done a little walk, do these stretches at the end of your workout when your body is at its warmest. Alright? So let's do a couple more stretches, both just on the mat. And then we'll do a couple standing up. And then we'll finish out our workout for today. Okay? Now, turning onto your side, a stretch you can do on your side while you're here is you can stretch the side of your oblique by placing your feet stacked, lining up with the back edge of your mat, putting one hand in front and one hand underneath, and simply just stretching out the side of your oblique, okay? And then you hold it for 15 seconds, and then you switch to the other side. So let's switch. Coming around to the other side, legs outstretched. First, I'm on my elbow, line up with the back edge of my mat. My hand is in front. I'm going to bring this hand underneath my shoulder, and I'm going to push up. And I'm going to feel a nice stretch down the side. Okay, breathing through it, holding the stretch in this form for at least 15 seconds. And then getting ready to switch in 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now I'm going to come to standing and show you one more stretch that we can do at the end of our workout. Right. So a stretch that we can do at the end of our workout is our calf stretch. What we want to do is we place our feet up against a solid wall surface or a step, our toes against that surface, wall or curb, and then we step as close to that wall, curb, or surface as much as we can until we feel a nice stretch in the back of our calf. And we hold it for 15 seconds, breathing through it, and then we would switch to the other foot, okay? Hands would be on a wall if you had a wall that you were using, and if you didn't have a wall and you were just using a curb, your arms would be at your sides. All right, 15 seconds have passed, and then you would relax. So let's do our 3 breaths to let our body know we've done a good job, and we're ending the workout. So feet about shoulder width apart today, and bend at the knees for all 3 breaths. So come on down, inhale, and exhale. Again, inhale, and exhale. One more. Inhale, and exhale. Thank you for joining me for class today. Good job. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.